apps of the day today is IG and CMC Markets, two of the great British brokers, a great British rivalry. Two brokers, two of the early adopters of financial spread betting and CFD trading. IG, of course, pioneered the concept back in 1974, and CMC Markets followed suit a few years later. Both fairly similar businesses on the surface. They both offer financial spread betting, contracts for difference. They both got a global client base. They're both headquartered in London, and they're both listed on the London Stock Exchange. And because they are both listed on the London Stock Exchange, we're going to demonstrate the functionality of the two platforms through the means of a pairs trade. We are going to double bag it in the sense that we're going to trade £1,000 of one and £1,000 of another. As you will of course know, a bag is the city colloquialism for 1,000, and we're also going to double bag it in the sense that we're giving ourselves a little bit of extra protection because we're long one, short the other, which essentially means we're neutral the market. So whether or not the market goes up or down shouldn't really matter. What in fact we're speculating on is the difference between the two. Now, before we go into the product demo, if you want to know more about the people behind CMC Markets and IG, we have interviews with Peter Kredas, the CEO and founder of CMC Markets, on the Good Money Guide, and we also have an interview with June Felix, who's the CEO of IG. You can see what they both have to say about the businesses, get their book recommendations and a little bit of strategy advice from their interviews. Of course, Stuart Wheeler, who founded IG, unfortunately is no longer with us, but he does have a fantastic autobiography that's well worth reading. There's some great anecdotes in there, in particular about the early days of trading. It's well worth the read. Peter Kredas actually has an autobiography out as well. That's well worth a read too. Also, don't shoot the messenger when it comes to which one we're buying and selling. I didn't make the decision. You can blame Jackson for that. He just updated our guide on pairs trading, and we've used IG and CMC Markets as an example of how to create a strategy and the various different ratios you can use to trade. So I'm going to blindly follow his advice, even though this isn't investment advice. If you are going to trade, always make your own decisions. In particular, don't take advice over what to trade from some idiot off of social media. Let's just have a look at the two platforms now. So here we have IG, where we're going to be trading CMC shares, and over here we have CMC Markets, where we're going to be trading IG shares. You can't actually trade CMC spread bets or CFDs on CMC Markets, and you can't trade IG as a spread bet or a CFD on IG. So we're going to have to trade IG on CMC Markets, and we're going to have to trade CMC Markets on IG. You can't actually do a simultaneous pairs trade on either. If you do want to trade them both at the same time with a particular ratio, you need to use a platform like Interactive Brokers. Their Scale Trader feature is particularly good. You can set up a pair quite easily for buying one against another. Hang on, let's just set it up quickly here so you can see what I mean. If we're going to trade those as CFDs, so there's the pair, IG versus CMC. This is the differential between the share prices over 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, 1 week, 1 day. So that sort of gives you an indication of the movements between the two. And depending on what ratio you're using, we're going to use £1,000 of each, which is a sort of dollar or sterling ratio. But if you wanted to trade one against another using a different method, you can either trade, for example, you can buy one IG share, sell 2 CMC shares or 3, or if you wanted to do it exactly right, or if you want to do it, it's about 1 to 6 or I think it's about 1 to 5 if you're looking at the market cap ratio, or 1 to 4. But anyway, we're going to talk about Interactive Brokers another day. For this, we're going to be looking at CMC Markets and IG. Again, don't shoot the messenger. I didn't decide which ones to buy or sell. That was Jackson. He suggested buying IG and selling CMC Markets. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the initial trades on the desktop platform so you can see what they're like, and then we're going to close those off on the app so you get a good visual of the mobile version too. So first of all, we're going to buy IG on CMC Markets. Actually, we're going to buy £1,000 worth of IG as a spread bet. One of the good things about CMC Markets is you can see the value of your trades here before you trade. So instead of having to work it out, you can quickly see what your exposure to the market is going to be. Let's just buy that. and we're filled again. Yeah, I quite like CMC. It's got that nice sort of Bloombergy feel, makes you feel like a proper trader. It's also got this quite nice sentiment indicator here where you can break down client sentiment, i.e., trader positions on the CMC Markets platform based on which clients are long or short, and you can break it down by which clients make money and which ones don't, which just gives you a little bit more accuracy. Whether or not sentiment is a contrarian indicator or a leading indicator, I'll leave that up to you to decide. And here we go. Here's CMC Markets. We're going to sell an equivalent amount there. IG, one of the drawbacks is it doesn't tell you your exposure to the market. It just tells you what your margin for the position is going to be. But IG, a great platform. In some instances they say that liquidity on their platform on the major instruments is better than what it is in the underlying market. So if you're a big trader, you've got big orders to fill, IG is certainly one to look at. So an equivalent amount, we're going to sell. I think it's about 7. That's close to 8. So we'll sell CMC Markets at £8 a point. There we go. We are done. What we'll quickly do now is switch over to the mobile apps and demonstrate the functionality of closing those two trades off. Of course, there's lots more to these platforms than we're going to cover today, but in the future we'll look at the individual features of each platform in specific detail. But for now, I'm just going to switch over to the mobile apps. Okay, so I'm now on the CMC Markets spread betting app. Loads of news, loads of data, loads of insight, and so on the app. Very heavy duty, but as I said, we'll look at that. We'll look at those features later. Here you can see our IG position. You can either add to it, partially close some of it off, but for this, we'll just push that little red cross and close it off. Switch to IG. IG again, very comprehensive app, but for the purposes of this, we're going to just close off that CMC Markets position. This Wall Street position here, actually, that's quite interesting. We've just joined social media. I've never really done much social media before, but one of the first tweets I did was to Jeremy Naylor, IG's analyst. He gave his views on what he thought was going to happen to the market next year. He thought it was going to come off a little bit. The recession might last a little bit longer than we thought, and then it may rally. So, for the purposes of getting us going and, interacting with people in a social way, we took the smallest bet possible to see how that pans out, but we'll just leave that running. CMC Markets, there's our position there. And let's just close that off. So there you go. Quick demo of IG and CMC Markets, desktop trading platform and trading apps. If you've used either, please let us know what you think in the comments below, or go to the Good Money Guide, fill in our rewards survey, tell us what you think of one broker relative to another. It really does help with our reviews and how we rank and rate providers. Anyway, thanks for watching.